Hello everybody, this is Tiny Gamer King, your coach of the Obsidian Cleavers, and we are in UGA. This is Season 4, I know it says Season 3 in the corner, but it's Season 4. And this is in we are doing this for the first season, so this is our first time in the UGA, which is the Universal Gaming Association. As you can see in the other corner, we are in the Johto division. I think most of the divisions were put in kind of like deciding on your play and how you felt as a coach, and they tried to like do like the stronger people in certain ones. I think, not 100% sure, but I think that's how it went. So they tried to get it based on your skill level, but in saying that, like, you can't always do that. So we'll see how we do. We got lucky again, and we got drafted. I think there was 13 people, 13 or 14 people in ours, and we got pick 1 again. Which, I don't know how I'm getting this luck, but I am. And it also says we get 5 free picks, but technically we only got 3 free picks. These two, technically we got 1A, we get 2 Bs, 2 Cs, 2 Ds, and an E in the tiers, and then 3 picks we got to use with 50 points. So like I said, so we got first pick, and the first pick I decided to go with was Fluttermane. Fluttermane is in my opinion, one of the best mons in the format. Definitely one of the best in VGC. We'll see how it is in draft. I've never used it in draft, so I'm not sure. I just thought, I've faced it in other times and it's done a lot of damage to me, so I was like, I want to take this so people can't use it on me, but I also wanted to use it on people. And it was actually between 2 mons that I wanted to use, and actually the second Pokemon I thought about picking up as my first pick, I actually got as well. So that was really nice, and you'll see that in a couple seconds. But the second pick I picked, and like I said, we do technically pick, because first pick we picked 2 back-to-back, which is always nice. And I couldn't remember which one of these I picked up first, to tell you the truth, as they technically get picked at the same time. But I picked up Roarman as one of my second or third Pokemon, but this is actually the one also I thought about debating to pick as my first Pokemon. So right now in our first 2 picks, we pretty much got almost our full fantasy core. We got a fairy and a dragon, so that was nice. And the both Pokemon I really wanted to try out. I've never used them, and I was like, I want to try this out and see how I can do with these 2 Pokemon. And so right now we're on a pretty fast. And with like both Pokemon like over the hundreds in speed, and I was like, what can I get to help these 2 Pokemon out? And the Pokemon I decided to pick to help them out, and I think is probably one of the best ones, which was really nice that came back to me as well, is Sableye. So Sableye is, in my opinion, one of the best prankster mods in the format. Just has a lot of utility with it. It does give us a second dark type and a second ghost type, so we're doubling up on typings right now, which isn't always the greatest, but I think it was worth it with getting Sableye. It also gives us Prankster Sunny Day if we want to use that, so that was another reason why I picked it up. So to help with the photosynthesis from the two Flood Main and Roaring Moon, because especially since we can only technically put energy booster on one of them if we want. So that was my thinking with Sableye. So again, we waited to pick the next two mons, and I picked up Toad School as one of my C tiers. So I skipped my second B tier and went to my C tiers, and I picked up Toad School. I wanted a redirection, which is Toad School. It was nice. It gave me that. It wasn't exactly the redirection I wanted because I really wanted to get Follow Me user, but the Follow Me users were getting picked, or I didn't have enough points to get it, since Roaring Moon was one of my first pick from my free picks, and I couldn't pick up the next one since I wouldn't have had enough points. So I picked up Toad School. I've used Toad School. I like Toad School. It gives me a Spore user as well, which is nice. Guaranteed Sleep is always nice. We do, because of its ability, get stuck with it being last priority. But in saying that, we make it so we can bypass people's abilities. So if they have an ability that makes it so that we can't put them to sleep, now we can. So that's always nice. We got sorry, my phone was ringing and now I forget what I was going to say. But yeah, so we got Toad School, and I thought that was a good team Pokemon to put on our team. And the next Pokemon I decided to pick up and to go at the same time as Toad School was Salazzle. Salazzle helps us with a couple things. It gives us a fire type to go with our grass type, which is nice. It gives us a fast fake out user, and since Sableye technically has fake out as well, but Salazzle gives us a lot quicker fake out. Probably one of the fastest fake out users, so that's always nice. It's not the most offensive, but it is another really high offensive piece, so that's nice. And another fast one. So we are at the moment extremely fast. Like all of our mons right now are 100 or above, except for Sableye, which Prankster automatically puts you up pretty quick. Again, like you'll be one of the first, unless it's a faster Prankster that sets off to get off like your support stuff. So in my opinion, with Prankster, we are still considered pretty fast in that aspect. So I decided, now that I got my 2 C's, I'd go back and get my B. So, because we were going, I was already getting so fast, I decided I needed to start thinking about my slow side. So, I picked up Slow King. Slow King gives us a bulky water type, which is nice. It gives us a Trick Room, which is nice. It so if when I do pick up some stuff for my Trick Room mode, I'm able to be able to set it up. Or if my opponent has Trick Room and I don't want Trick Room, maybe I can just stop them from having it. That was my thinking. And we now completed a fire, water, grass core, which is nice. So we got the water. If someone brings the electric, we can bring Toad School out, and we don't even have to worry about it because of its ground typing. If we have a fire type out, and we can either bring, and they have like water, we can bring Slow King for defensive, or we can switch out and bring out Toad School. Because of its ground type though, it's not, the grass isn't resistant to any water type attacks. We become neutral, which isn't the greatest, but it's still not bad. So we can do do that as well. So the next Pokemon I picked up was my first D tier, and that was Rotom. Rotom gives us a Levitate user, which stops helps us with any kind of like ground moves. We can bring it out and deal with that. We do at the end. We will have a couple bonds that are kind of weak to the ground, and we have Salazzle right now that's 4 times weak to ground. So that helps us. It also helps us with, since it's grass and electric, it helps us with another Pokemon that we can like use to help Salazzle. If someone brings out a water type, we can switch it out into Rotom instead of Toad School, and then we actually resist the water types. And Rotom mode gives us another like a really good like electric resistance for like Slow King if they bring out electric, and of course grass as well. So that was my thinking with Rotom. So the next Pokemon I picked up, pretty sure was my next D tier. Yeah, my next D tier, which is Lycanroc. I've used Lycanroc before, but just not this version. I've never used the Midnight version. So this should be interesting to try to use. And I think it'll be like a pretty decent Pokemon. It has some decent abilities. No Guard makes it so we can't miss, but they can't miss us. So that's something we have to think about. It gives us just some strong offensiveness on the physical side, since at this moment I felt we were more especially offensive and not really much into the physical. At this point I think the only physical Pokemon I had was Roaring Moon. So I was like, for D, this would be a nice Pokemon to have. And it's in that weird spot in the speed that doesn't really like Trick Room, but I'm hoping maybe we can somewhat use it in that aspect if we need be. But it's just something we have to think of and decide if we can or not. So the next Pokemon, which I'm not going to talk too much because I replaced it, but I picked up Sawsbuck because I was thinking like it'd be nice to have we could do like a chlorophyll kind of thing with the Sunny Day from Sableye and that, but it gave us another grass type, which I was like, 3 grass types isn't the greatest. So after we done the trade, the draft and all that, I picked up it was technically my first trade of the season. I picked up Crabominable. Crabominable is another Pokemon I've never used. But I was like, I need stuff for my Trick Room. Because at this moment, like at the time, even after the draft, I felt my Trick Room mode wasn't the greatest. So I was like, I'm going to pick up Crabominable. It gives us a fighting type and an ice type, which I don't think I had even at the end of this. So I thought that was nice. It gives us a really strong physical aspect with like 100 and something, like 130 something in its attack. So I thought that was nice. And it was I don't, like, if I remember right when I decided to pick it up, I don't think I really had anything to get rid of any terrain stuff. And I know there's not much for terrain anymore, but there was still a couple terrain setters. So it gives me an ice spinner, I thought, and I was like, that'd be nice. Sorry about my dog, guys. So after Sawsbuck, because like I said, that was the one I picked. My last 2 picks of the season, or the draft, was Caparaja, which I wanted because of my Trick Room mode. Like I said, in the draft, when I decided, I didn't really have much for Trick Room, so I needed something. And then I was like, I don't have my Steel type yet either. So I was like, I've never used Caparaja. I wanted a strong offensive piece for my Trick Room, so I picked up Caparaja. With its abilities like Sheer Force and Heavy Metal, I thought that'd be nice to have. So we got like, we can do some extra damage with Sheer Force or Heavy Metal. We can make ourselves heavier for like things if we want to do some damage with like our weight. So that was the aspect of picking up Caparaja. And the last Pokemon is also to help with the Trick Room, and that was Muck. Muck, again, gives us a second poison type, which I know isn't the greatest. Because now we have 2 dark types, 2 ghost types, 2 grass types, and 2 poison types. So we're definitely doubling up on our typings. But even though we are doubling up, we got a lot of the different typings. Like, I'm pretty sure we only have like 3 or 4 of the typings we don't have. Like we don't have bug, which isn't the greatest typing in the first place, as much as I do like bug. And we don't have flying, now that I'm looking at it, which kind of sucks, I won't lie, now that I think about it. But with Terras, we won't have to worry. We can, there's mods if we want, we can Terra into flying. That's a good thing about Terras. We can get that type changes if we need be. And what else? We don't have a normal type, which isn't that bad, which isn't bad either. I think that might be it. Yeah. So we actually, for the ones that we don't have, I think flying is really the biggest one. And like I said, we can work with that with the terraing. So that is our team. I really think, like, we'll see how it turns out. I'm really happy with the team that I drafted, and picking up Vomital after, I think, is going to help us, especially in our for trick room. We are pretty physically in our trick room, most of the mons other than Slow King, actually all the mons other than Slow King are physical attackers, so our trick room is going to be more physical, but I think that's fine. And I think we kind of like spread it out, attack and special attack, so I think that's good. Like, I don't think we're really all physically offensive, and I don't think we're really all like specially offensive. I think I tried to get as much into balancing that out, and just looking at my team, I think really the only thing I'm really worrying about a little bit is my ground weakness. Because of the 2 poison types and our steel type and even the rock type, we are kind of on the weakness to ground, like other than Rotom Moe. I think where everything else is neutral, or yeah, I think everything else is neutral. Toadschool, actually no. Toadschool would be resist. So we have Rotom Moe and we have Toadschool. That's really a defensive. I mean our protection from ground, which isn't the greatest. I know. For some reason whenever I draft, I always find myself being weak to ground. So, but other than that, I'm pretty sure we're like pretty much neutral to everything. So we'll see how it does, and maybe throughout the season we can fix things up. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm really happy with how this team turned out. Is it the best team in the league? Probably not. But I really don't think it's the worst team. I just hope I can use it to the best of its capability. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was kind of quick, but I just wanted to get this out before the season started, and so you guys could have kind of a little bit of an understanding of how I picked my team and what I did with it, and we will see if I can actually use it pretty good and hopefully make it to the playoffs, and who knows, maybe we might even get our first championship. I I really do think my team could be a championship team. I just hope I can play it to the point where I can show everyone else that as well. But until then, we will see you when I'm doing a week 1 match. But until then, see you guys later.